Well, good. I should sit there.
Yeah, you should.
I will. I can. Kathy, you want to sit over here where it's nice and warm?
Well, I think, Karen wants to.
It's nice and warm. See, I even brought a cooler. Hey, my husband, I'm sure, as soon as I walk out the door, he's getting that air conditioner off, getting the fans off. Step.
Okay, good morning. Welcome, everybody, to our July meeting. And as Becky likes to remind me to tell you, we are being recorded. And we'll start with the secretary's report.
Morning, Phil.
On vacation again.
Yeah.
He's in Florida.
You.
Oh, I'll try this. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Okay.
I can't hear you, Amy, but
Is it?
yeah, I can hear you.
Scared.
I can hear you now. Yeah, no, actually Karen's not joining. She's off taking a walk on the beach.
Oh, good. Good for her. That's
Oh, dear, poor thing.
That's a couple of 64.
Okay.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the meeting notes?
I'll make a motion to accept the secretary's report as written.
Okay, anybody have any questions or issues or concerns? Okay,
Excellent as usual.
all in favor, aye? Okay. Treasurer's report?
For June 2025. CO gift account, there were donations from memorial donation in the amount of $400 and a $50 donation from Thimble Pleasures. 400 total of $450. The food pantry account. There are reassigned expenses.
Yes.
$45.98. Donations of $825. They were 8 private donations. Expenses, market basket, $773.96. 2 months supply of stock. WB Mason, $152.04 for paper goods. And Price Chopper, $54.89. And that's the treasurer's report for the moment.
Okay, do you have anything to add to the
I need to add a couple of things. So I'm waiting a couple of clarifications. There were 2 discrepancies, so I'm waiting for the accountant to rectify that assignment of 4598 should be added back in. And then there was, just an FYI, so when we purchased our AEDs many years ago, it was through donations. We got donations, so we purchased one for the band and one for the senior center. We got more donations than we needed at the time. The AEDs were, I think, a total of $3,000. So has been money in the account all these years that we've been paying for the batteries. They only last about 2 years each, those two different items. So when I put in, I had to buy new pads back in June. When I put in the bill, I put in the account number. And since they changed the accounting systems, I only had the old account number. So I put in the old account number. And what they did was they charged it to the COA different account, which they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have done it without
Calling it.
taking it to me first. So I've got an email into them for that, and then for that other amount, I needed to have them reassign that 48.98. It's an expense for a different account. It's not a food pantry account. So that should be clarified. And then if you can look at the next page, this is the year and I have last year on the cost. The year ending June 30th. Okay. So 2 things. If you look at the top, the first circle item, which is like 20,000 and change, a lot of change. That's because we had an employee leave, right? Not the position vacated for quite some time. So that's money that goes back to the town coffers to their free cash, I assume. Have to be, I guess, verified in November. And but you follow it down, the item for $205.58. That's how much money we had left in our expenses. However, if they tell me that there isn't enough funding to cover the 144 for the AED pads, I'm going to ask them to reassign it out of one of our line items. So we'll draw it out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It shouldn't come out of COA yet.
No, it should not.
So I'm on top of that. I don't know. I think it's not under, I start Mark, because he was the one that helped us purchase those, helped get set up. That was like years ago. And so he didn't even know last night. He doesn't deal with the new accounting system. He knows KTS, our old accounting system, but he thought that the account was under our domain. It's not. So I went looking online because just recently Jeremy sent out to all the departments, all the town's accounts, except for business accounts. So I looked under the fire department, I looked under the police department. I want to find out where, and I know what the account name is, but I couldn't find it. Again, it was never for me to be able to touch anywhere. I could just send in bills. So it could be, but it could be almost used up too, because we've been buying, as I said, pads. They're not cheap. $144 for the pads every 2 years. And the batteries are 200, and we've got the two of them. Yeah. So anyway, so I'll stay on top of that. And so basically, we basically used all of our funding, I think very wisely for the year, except for, the back salaries, and it's what it is. It was worth the wait, though, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was. She's excellent.
The next sheet is going to be this fiscal year, which we're just starting. And we've only had two checks as of this writing. We've only had 2 payments made out for contract services and postage for the newsletter. So our new year does reflect money. If you follow the general fund down to miscellaneous expenses.
Yeah, 3,500. Yeah, give her mine if you want. I can look on the girl.
Okay, next one, Mary, if you follow it down to miscellaneous expenses, that's an item we didn't have last year. That's where they put the money for the chairs, the 3,500.
Chairs,
okay, right. And in with contract services, they increased the amount up near the top under salaries and wages, but below that is contract services. They have money in there. I have to have clarified how much for custodial, the additional custodial services. So what happened is when Phil and I had whenever went to FinCom, we asked for X amount. The chairs we asked for 7,200, we got 35. what we
What? We got what we got.
Yes.
So last time you were to the library.
That's Caroline's suggestion. It was a great suggestion. So I have to determine, now, Jeremy, how much money we have in contract services. And that, the person we'd be using is the person that does the library, that does this building. But I know the town wants to get into some kind of a contract with him because he's doing, he's gonna be over a certain amount and he's doing so many facilities. I don't know if you do the police department too, right?
That's right. It shouldn't be all individuals. Seems like a,
But same thing could be true with, electricity and oil. I mean, does it have to show on ours? Yeah. At least we can just say how much we do use for electricity. But yeah, so we started our new fiscal year. We do have additional funds, thanks to Bill, for lobbying. Now granted, we did ask for, $288,700 for our safety and, safety and building maintenance. And he's got a, small amount of that, but I think we should be glad that they listen to our concerns.
I have a question, Amy, because it kind of bothers me that with every public building having an AED machine,
They don't.
they don't? The town hall doesn't have one, the fire and schools must have them.
They're not.
What I'm saying, well, it just seems like that would be like a bulk purchase from some company.
But you gotta imagine though, the batteries don't expire at the same time.
No, but having X amount of dollars in an account,
So that's
like
gonna have
public
to-
safety.
That's gonna have to come out of our supplies, which I did not earmark money in there for, but we'll be okay. We just did batteries, we just did batteries, we just did pads, so we'll probably put money in next year, maybe an extra, say, $500 in next fiscal year for these items.
Do we all buy from the same vendor?
Yes, I believe so. I went through who Mark Kingdom gave me.
Right.
He was with the fire department, at the time, CF Medical, so.
It just seems like a lot of buildings would have them. It
But
seems,
I'll tell you, like, the first year I bought 2 sets of pads for each, thinking I was gonna need them. Wrong, because that was actually wasting money.
but you know
But I
what?
learned.
No, we didn't have anyone who needed it. That, to me,
That is true. This is true.
we were, yeah, exactly.
This is true. But see, it's pretty quick, a quick response to get them. If we did use them, I saw them, we'd probably have them in 2 days. So, good point to bring up. Maybe centralizing some of these expenses.
Yeah, if Elena was here, I would have asked her, but okay, well,
Okay, all right.
think about it.
But yeah, so we're off to, I think, a very good start. If you do want to look down below, all the special articles, ATM, they've taken out all, well, either they've taken out the funding or they haven't restored it yet. Sometimes, in the beginning of the fiscal year, they have to add funds from those smaller accounts, and it's one of the two things, either A, they zero them out, or B, they just haven't put the funds in there yet. And they're like, say, for example, we did the windows, we had $900.
Jumped over.
So we're on to a good start.
Okay, going back to the original treasurer's report, can I have a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion, accept it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going on to the director's report.
Can I just first one?
Absolutely.
You
A
have,
lot of them like they're building related, they're related to the other products.
you have anything to say now, or do you want to wait? Okay, friends,
Friends are not meeting till September. I have nothing to
that was easy.
report.
Okay, we're going on to old business now. And we're going to start with the food pantry.
I'm just gonna comment on Carol said she saw the long list on Facebook today. I just sent that yesterday to Linda Bodio, and she said, she's thinking of you. And I have other folks that shop regularly for the pantry that they want updated lists. So we have volunteers that give me a list here, they give me a list here, Ann gives me a list when she's in weekly. So that's what you saw. It's not that if you come in, our coffers aren't empty, but there are certain things like if in spinach now. So yeah, a lot of people, potato chowder, so that's what that's about. But
Was it on your page?
yes.
Okay. Mendon Mass Bulletin?
Very-
Okay.
I think it's just, it helps to direct the that wants to contribute, so they're not giving us things that we.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Anymore, you know.
It was an extensive list.
Yeah, it is. I see it right here.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for posting that.
Truths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're gonna have meetings,
That's
that's right, we're not meeting again until September.
Okay, Phil, do you want to add something about the senior center expansion?
Yes, just a brief statement. I sent off emails to the select board and Jeremy. Jeremy got back to me because we waited for an agenda item to be placed on futures in July. The last meeting did not have that, the select board meeting notes. So I sent out an email this morning and Jeremy came back and said he would provide me with an update next week. And hopefully that'll have the point in time where the select board is going to review it. My issue with him was that it's been 7 months since we engaged Abacus and we've had no report. And I want to make sure of the priority. He did indicate he's got a lot of priorities and I understand that. But we need to continue to push this item to get it moving. Because we have the current condition, safety issues, and then we have future direction. So I intend to continue to push this and Amy do the same through your department meetings. We need to get things moving, but I expect an update next week.
Good.
And maybe we, in lieu of a meeting, maybe we can just put a note out to the COA, giving everybody an update of what I get from Jeremy.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay, thank you. You should be online all the time. Man can hear you very clearly now.
Very good. Hey, as you guys speak up, please speak up louder too. I can't hear you when you face me. Got to face the other way.
Okay, building maintenance updates. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. So that's where, and actually, I should just say maintenance updates, because it's not just the building. So hopefully, many of you got the email that I forwarded about the well. We've been dealing with this situation for the past month, say. Every time they come in to test the water, we fail the test, they have to come back the next 2 days. I mean, it's been a revolving door for a Whitewater company. And so finally, when it hits a certain point, the state gets involved. And the state says, you must do this. And so what they had to do on Friday was they had to pull the motor in order to put a camera down there to see what's going on. For dead animal, what is there? And so they became very punctual. They were about, I'd say, 8 o'clock. They worked throughout the day. They pulled the camera, they pulled the motor, and when they pulled the motor / pump, they determined it's nearly 40 years old. It's the original one. And so their buyer is just so on top of things. He's probably working over at the Parks Department, but he and I stayed in communication by phone. When he could, he came over because I was relaying information and he wanted to really understand what was going on. Here's what he said: you've got them on site. You've got the pump pulled. They happen to have another pump with them that will work.
Put it in.
Let's do it. To the tune of, that part was, I think, approximately $2,700. You know, but again, you're not having to enact them to come out.
Right.
So we have determined. Yeah, that's so. The buyer's on the water department, and so he will work with Jeremy on that. They have a budget, and
Let's try to ask something.
Question, because you're breaking up,
yeah.
is the well going to be repaired or are we going to replace it?
Okay, so we're not there yet. So they put the new pump in. Before they put the new pump in, they put the camera in. And so I printed out some text that I had going from Ken, who's with Whitewater. What he said, basically, he says, I think they found a couple spots not far below the end of the casing, around 100 feet down, where the water is coming in from the bedrock. Okay. And then, so that was something. And so then we also did samples on Monday. That's why we had to cancel the program Monday. We did samples on Monday. Sorry, water's been atrocious, as you know. Not so much on the faucets, but when we flush the toilet. So anyway, we had the water tested on Monday. We got the results yesterday, and fingers crossed, the samples were clean. And this isn't an E. coli issue, it's a coliform issue, but it's an issue nonetheless. Dan Breyer came back with a comment that was I thought very interesting. He said that, perhaps we can blame this on the failing pump because the pump wasn't working to its proper efficiency. He said that, this happened for the Parks Department many years ago. They had stagnating water in the lines, because of the plumbing issues, and they also failed for the similar tests. So it could have been that pump. The pump was not working properly to, bring the water up. So let's hope. But that other issue in terms of the casing and all of that has to be addressed. He didn't rule out, should at some point a new pump have to be considered, a new well, excuse me, perhaps, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Okay, as he proceeds, if a new well is at all in the cards, obviously the location is a good time to move it somewhere else. If we wanted to use that extra acre across beside the senior center for parking or anything else, or expansion. Just a thought. Is the water safe to drink? Is it safe to operate the building?
So we've always maintained that we've been using the tri-valley, but we've been using bottled water for coffee. You can use it, I suppose, to wash your hands, but we have to keep sanitizer in the bathrooms. No, you should not be drinking the water.
Can we wash the dishes with it?
We really should have a industrial dishwasher. You really compliant with sterilization.
I would just suggest, Amy, that if it doesn't get resolved this week, that we put the issue, I know Jeremy's working with Dan, and they're good folks, but the sense of urgency would be to bring in temporary water supplies, something, because you got people washing their hands in the sinks, going to bathrooms, washing dishes, and we have an issue. There needs to be some kind of resolution that's very quick. But that's my only point. If there's a safety issue at all, even tangential washing hands or dishes, because you can't sanitize the dishes, we should.
It's
Make
some of
sure
them, does our dishwasher have a Sanicycle on it? Okay, oh, I know,
Have to donate.
but we don't have a some of them have Sanicycles on, ours doesn't.
You've got the cookout scheduled for next week. This one impacted if it's not resolved.
Well, we put the cooking program from this week to Tuesday next week. So I'll talk to the Board of Health. They said that we're doing our protocols in terms of using bottled water, having hand sanitizer. And that was coming down from the state. They've all been looking at how we operate. And
I just throw this one on a high priority, that's all. I'm sorry.
About in terms of the cookout, what are the issues
Sanitation, if you've got people
in the
there,
kitchen?
if you've got problems with the water, right, and you have people go and wash their hands and they go different places, you really can't use your dishwasher if your water's contaminated. So you've got bigger problems here, and especially if they found some bacteria there, even if.
not now, they did not. As of this week, no.
When are they going to repeat the test?
You did not tell me when.
That might be something to do, another repeat test.
They usually do it monthly, so.
Well, we have just had bacteria.
But we've been testing it, I want to say we've been testing it like every other day.
Right.
Now that the pump's gone in, it's been fully chlorinated for probably the fourth time, actually the second time. And it did pass the test.
It did that one. You probably want to have a follow-up to make sure it's okay. And then go to the Board of Health and say, okay, we're planning a cookout here with X number of people. And is this something safe we can do?
You should probably postpone for a week.
About that. I know. Guy under cleaning water. Right, you want to wash the water, no, I'm not gonna.
Right.
Can you postpone? Yeah, I would say, plus it's the day of the boat race. I mean, and a lot of us are going.
That's a different issue.
Oh, no, I know, but, well,
like I've already got 2 youth volunteers to work, but I'll talk to Dan Meyer here. And you know, he and Whitewater, they're connected between states, so. I mean, they are basically, Dan's probably our go-between between Whitewater, Board of Health, state. And see what they say, and we have to cancel up next week's program too, so.
But you do have, I mean, obviously for the cookout, you do serve on paper, you're not using plates and silverware.
You can use
And I know
plastic.
you've got, for serving utensils, you have the tabs you can use, which will
Exactly.
sterilize. And to make sure that all helpers know that they not only need to wash their hands, sanitize out.
And also the gloves, we all wear gloves, we all wear gloves. So. Aware of what our protocols are and see what they say.
I think it's just, I'm just thinking it's human nature to put the water on to rinse something. I mean, you do it without even thinking.
That's right. Plastic silverware plates, but there's other things that you,
The least,
bowls that you.
least you can do is put a big sign over where the faucet is.
Oh, I had all of them.
You did, I saw you on the weekend.
To the point where we got lots of flowers came yesterday, it's like, on this side, I can't use the water. I'm like, no, I can make this sign down, this is outside.
Not potable.
So, all right, so I will work on that today. Just to, again, another maintenance issue, not to deal with the building, but, the van. We had money put into our budget, again, thank you, Phil, for tires. And so the tires, I've got 2 quotes. The way that the system's working, John Dudley with the highway department is also our building maintenance person. He did the homework for me. He got 2 quotes. He said, which ones would you like to go with? So he's actually coordinating, taking our van next Tuesday, going to the tire doctor in Blackstone. And then unfortunately, it's not for another couple of weeks, but his outfit will take the van up to Shrewsbury, have to go there for some alignment. Not many places align the vehicles. So, so they'll make arrangements to bring it on Friday.
Yeah.
And then they'll get it back to us. So that's being taken care of. We'll also have the highway department do the oil change. And when we do that, we just pay for the materials that we'll oil, not the labor. That's it. Regarding the building, and the new budget and the chairs, I did at Carolyn's, suggestion, I did make it up to the, library. I do like those chairs, are very nice and very comfortable. The only difference is they do not have arms, so we do need arms for the most part. The company Demco, the libraries forwarded me their information. They do make the same arm chair with arms. So I would like to order, I haven't ordered it yet. Based on the budgetary amount of $3,500, Demco can supply you 28 chairs with arms, 5 without arms. Because there's some people that would prefer not to have the arms. They do kind of cut into you. But when they're doing exercise, when you want to get up and you need that support, you definitely need the arms. So it came out to $3,498 pennies to do 33 chairs, which I think is a good amount. And I got the same color. I talked to a couple of board members. I think the maroon goes very nicely.
Doesn't show the stains.
Yeah, it certainly has a gray color, and
That would show more.
I wonder if that does show more. But I know with those chairs that they have they're several years old and they're still in very good shape.
So are you getting rid of some of the chairs we have?
All of them.
Okay, good, because I was wondering about a
I understand.
storage issue.
They're killing the floor, so I'd like to have the floor refinished and varnished, and at the same time, I do that carpeting, do all the, because when we have 33 chairs, we say we have 6 tables, that's at least 5 tables for, 5 chairs per table. Then we have all those folding ones, which are wonderful, they're
Yep.
also the same color, and they can fit in nicely if we have more than that many people. So, yeah, so if you guys are okay with that, as I said, I'll get there. Over here for $3,498. 99, excuse me, $3,499.54, and they budgeted us 3,500. So
Yeah.
Pretty okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Good, good, good. Was I a lollipop change? If that. The other thing that I really need to buy for the center is, we need to get a petition for Shauna's area. Unfortunately, she's not able to do her job to the best of her ability because she has a lot of interaction. And granted, people do need to go and talk to her. But, when activities or programs are going on, she needs kind of a sense of space, I guess, Partition. I make them for reception areas, it'll probably be, our blue one, it'll probably be something like that. And then maybe an opaque panel or a clear panel, up the top. So, something to kind of give a little boundary for her. She's doing an excellent job,
Oh,
by
yes.
the way.
Yeah.
And, I'm handing projects off to her and she.
That's what you should be doing.
Okay. No, I haven't. I haven't. But the furniture companies that we deal with, I'm sure we'll be able to find something to work with. Yeah. And it could be something like as simple as like the blue wall we have, where it's flexible. Maybe we can be broken down and pushed aside if we don't need it, or if we need the whole, like say there's a bed or something. So.
And Karen,
She's on the telephone and talking, needing to have, see the phone call, if there's a program going on, so
Yeah.
everybody in the.
I know. I mean, my goal eventually for that position, it should have its own office.
yeah, I know, we tried.
We tried. So I'd like to continue.
Well, also Karen Sipley, she dealt a lot with office furniture and things like that, right? She may be able to get us a price from someone too.
Sure.
Did you hear that, Phil? No.
So,
Okay.
okay.
What are we trying to buy?
There's gonna be
Yeah,
a test.
she knows how to do it. My daughter actually, Sloane's mother works for a place that does stuff. They donated the cabinets.
Yes, that's what you think of it.
Okay, so I think that's it for the building. Yeah. Was anything appropriated for the deck? No. don't
No,
know.
I haven't. When I get back, I'm gonna push to Jeremy and probably to Jeremy, I guess, to ask him if we have minority contractors that we use and or preferred contractors, because I want to get 3 bids in to have the deck, and then I want to present it to them, go from there. We haven't had another capital meeting. So until we have capital meetings, we're not gonna, well, the deck is separate. We haven't had a capital meeting. That's, I know, that's more of a parking lot issue. But on the deck, I expect to get 3 quotes in by early August, beginning of middle of August.
That's our second exit, because that's our second exit to get out of the building.
Yeah, there's 2 things. There's the egress coming out of the second floor that I want to drop on the deck. And then the second exit to get out of the building. I expect we'll have quotes in, and I want to get in front of the line before everybody else uses up the money for the maintenance. And I expect that to come out of free cash or maintenance budget.
No, we're just giving 3,000 back, and we didn't use the salaries.
I'm sorry, Amy?
Giving 20,000 back.
20,000 back.
Okay.
Salaries.
Okay, salary, so we target, hey, we're giving you 20 back, let's use it. I think the porch is gonna be more than that, though.
And also, when a full-time employee does not use insurance benefits, we still have to budget like 30,000 for that.
Mhm.
That money goes back too. So.
Yeah,
I'm
free,
not saying it's our money, it's the town's money, but,
yeah, I think if you look at the free cash, they're probably gonna have, again, a couple of $100,000 of free cash in November. So the goal is this summer, before the end of August, to line up things like all of our big ticket items so that we can start to absorb some of that free cash. They'll put a big blanket statement again, say, the free cash is gonna pay for municipal expenses. It's not you don't have to do a lot of crazy voting on it. So hopefully we'll get through the town meeting in November and they'll allocate some things like that. The parking lot's the big one. That's the one we gotta go push with. Parking solution,
parking solution, that's a good way of raising it.
whatever that may be. And if we need a new well, it's a great opportunity to just punch right into that acre next door, because we have to go around the well now.
Okay, do you want to go on next on the program?
So based on, our discussion today, the cookout, nothing's been done yet, except for the tablecloths are already on. We're just gonna use the summer, 4th of July type tablecloth. So, it's been purchased, so I will talk to the different entities and we'll see where we're at. If we have to cancel, please, we will do so. We have about 20 people have signed up for it thus far. Senior tea, I guess I wanted to speak to the friends about that. I don't know what they're planning on doing for senior tea this year. I know they've always done a fabulous job. I don't know, Carolyn, if from the friends,
It hasn't been discussed at all. I'll wait till Karen comes back and then we can.
Jordy Garceau has often led the charge in the past, and so I don't know something that we should approach her with, or it's not till August, so August 10th this year. We do have our piano player, so that's good, right? Don't necessarily have a theme yet. I was thinking it might be time to buy some new tablecloths. I mean, we've been recycling.
They're stained.
They're stained, so maybe it's time to get some new ones.
Yeah, with all the cheap spots, have a lot of lovely design on cheap spots. I think it's nicer to use the solid color too.
That's fine, but we still have that. The green ones have been used so many times, those have been used for probably 15 years. The off-white ones are fairly well stained. We try our best to kind of mask them with the placement and everything. Everybody has any suggestions as to what color white, because it's nice, it'd be nice to add something fresh to it.
I mean,
We want a soft blue. We don't have it here.
Do we usually have a theme for the senior
Last
tea?
year, yes, last year it was sunflowers.
Oh, that's what we've.
Friendship and sunflowers. This year it's friendship again. Shauna did a beautiful job, I thought, with the invitation. She found a beautiful quote. I should have brought a copy.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'll see it
Very
this afternoon.
nice. So those are pretty fun out to. It's
well, it was less than 100 because of the health and lives. So, you know, when you.
But about 100 people that are over 85.
It's too bad we couldn't get some forget-me-nots, but I think they're out of season.
But see soft blue, when you think about soft blue, that would be a lovely, you could get something from Amazon that would make that or.
Maybe some silks. I mean, you're just thinking of something, we want our seniors to know they're not forgotten just because they're 85 or older.
That's the idea. It's a very nice.
Got them right here.
We'll see.
If you get it, you find it. It's like a maze, a very, very.
Like a yellow?
Yellow, not a bright yellow.
I did kind of the yellow theme last year.
Oh, you
Sunflowers, we have your experience and we have the sunflower.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I had them from my party.
The players and, so we have something a little different this year. But paler than rose, sure.
Yeah.
They would go with the forget-me-nots too.
I just don't want them to think that, we only think about them once a year.
Right. Well, everybody would like to work with you.
I'll work with you on that because that's not until August and the
Right.
boat race will be over. I will work on that with you.
So that's that.
Basically,
I think social is easy peasy, and I've had a lot of volunteers to help. It's not really the labor part is standing behind the table, and that's what we did with the cookout last year too. Standing behind the table, serving, so that not 10 hands aren't touching that spoon, we're touching it with our gloved hands. Same thing with the ice cream social. We'll have the ice cream already scooped. We'll have the different toppings that we'll put on. We'll put on the whipped cream, so we'll slap people to try to touch the spoons themselves. So I think that's.
is this the magician that's been here before?
No, Dennis coming, he's the transportation coordinator from Blackstone. I've been working with him for years regarding, training for our drivers. And No, so this is, I guess, a side for him, he and his wife, not just him, he and his wife.
He applied on his own for it.
Yes, and he for several senior centers, not just ours. So I applaud him for that. And so the last 2 times, the magicians, they both went over well. They both had, the first one had like the tux and top hat theme. The last one was very relaxed, but I think also amazed. So I think this will be nice, very nice.
Okay, pen pal update.
I can tell you, finally, I've been worried because we had the sign-up sheet down below and it's had 7 names on it for months. Well, it turns out our coordinator, who's wonderful, and we did put her name and number in the newspaper, in the newsletter. She's been taking calls. And so I had one person call me the other day, Amy, I let Cheryl know, I am definitely interested. I think she's at about 31 out of 32.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's, again, I really contact Cheryl. Yes, yes. And then that's what she was supposed to, but Cheryl wasn't sure again. And I had the list and I've been worried, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I will tell you this, we also, for those of you that were this year, one of this Girl Scout leaders took, Carolyn, there is down there, who took pictures of each set of pen pals. And I gave them to Cheryl. Cheryl went and she's got very nice card. She's got them embellished with a nice saying. So please come down and get your photo. Very, very nice. Very nice. Nice touch. Cheryl's doing a super job.
And what about the new town website?
It's up and running from what I understand. Honestly, I have not even had a chance to look at it. And our site is basically our old site brought over and changed, like Shauna was added to it. Shauna and I've taken some trainings, but it's just, they threw the trainings at us, like 1 a week for a different aspect, just after another one. We had so many things year end on, so I have to go back and try and do these trainings. I can do them myself. Center, I want Shauna to do them too, so that she can, assist with that. So it's up and running. I'm curious what you think about it. The focus right now is a lot of the cardboard boat race. So it's an aerial view. They must be using the road, town road. They aerial view of the beach, just a mass of people. I showed one of my Hopkinton neighbors that just moved to Mendon. I talked with her about it, and she said, "Yes, I saw that." It's pretty amazing. And then there's a beautiful aerial view of all these buildings right here. I don't know if there's anything of the senior center yet, but it's nice. So we'll be updated. It's up and running, and we have yet to put our personal touches. They carried things over. They made the changes that we requested, but we still need to learn how to do the updates ourselves.
Is it possible, or have we ever done this, have a compilation of all the people who have performed and done things until the people could just go, when we go to this website, or maybe it's should be on Facebook, or just a list of all the activities that have come to the students?
I think I talked to you more about it. I mean, do you want like links? Like I know the friends have asked for a link. I don't have, I know the library, so the library's not ready to launch their new sites. They've had a lot of things on their plate, but on their old site, they had a link to the Karen simply had asked me about having a link from our site. I have to inquire about that. But in terms of, let's talk about it. I mean, do you want to see like pictures? You want to see
If pictures and dates, just remind people of who has happened before.
So what we do need too, and I know Peg has done so much of this, we need more volunteer photographers. And then we need someone,
Post them.
to post them. And I know actually that's what we've been doing through Facebook.
Yeah,
Who does it?
when I
Karen does it.
I haven't been keeping up to date because we're just stretched too thin.
Exactly.
Come down, take, it's like, right, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, so things go on for Tuesday, going down.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that's a good idea.
Now,
Okay.
Tuesday, I wanted to do that program, but it's full.
Yeah, it is. It is.
My program.
It is.
But
It's right away.
I was going to say, because some people, because the date changed, they may not be able to make it. They should let you
I
know.
think Shauna called them.
But you left a message at my house.
Yeah, I called them ready to cancel. I think with you, because you were coming to the center.
Yeah.
She
No,
called,
she called my house.
she called your house
To the
too?
home phone.
Okay, on to new business. Staff library.
The Taft Library Boat Race, we are in very good shape, I think. Many people here are on the committee, Kathy, Carolyn, myself, Phil, Karen, their granddaughter, Sloan helped me the other day. The boat, Phil was the master boat builder. He
It was
answers
all
any-
because
all
of Dick.
questions. You answer any and all questions related to the boat. We answer any, all questions related to the decoration.
Is there a crane to pick up the boat?
No, gonna have to
I think
be,
it's Bill and Andy.
no,
Okay.
I'll help too.
There we go.
The boat, no, well, the basic boat is done, and now we're decorating. What's big?
It's 76 inches by 48.
It looks like a barge right now. I would say,
It's a barge.
one.
It looks like a barge.
Yeah, that's what I think. But it's actually, the theme for us is gambling for a win. And the boat is the Silver Dollar because it's the silver anniversary. And we're decorating it with a lot of stuff, but the basic black paint is on it, and now we're doing striping. And tomorrow, some of us are gonna get there at 9:30. I don't know what time you're gonna get there. Do you have a preference for time?
I work tomorrow, so I'll be there by 9.
Okay, that's fine. So there's at least 3 of us showing up, and Sloan, I'm gonna get a hold of Sloan for tomorrow at 9:30. It's in good shape. I was wondering, Amy, if you could maybe make a phone call to Dennis Pimenta to see if he would consider driving the van. I would like to see our van used to transport people because the parking up there is not going to be,
So
it's not going to
we
be
still
good.
have to hear back from Sean.
Okay, but just,
Yeah, I know Wayne can't do it because he's gonna be involved. So,
and Walter is up in Maine because he drove before. I don't know, I really would like to use the van if we can. If it costs us a little bit more, I think it's worth it to get people to go. Carolyn has been great. She's ordered all the T-shirts that people had ordered, and they're coming in Friday. We've got hats, we've got sailor hats, we've got casino hats, we've got all sorts of stuff. I got necklaces. Couple of us are gonna be in costume.
Hey.
Alone?
No, 4 of us.
Oh,
Sandy Washburn, myself, Mills, Karen Mills, and Paul Bouchard. He's the coxswain. He's going to be giving the orders on how to row, because he's won many contests.
Tell me again, Silver Dollar is the name of the boat.
The Silver Dollar.
And then you said something prior to that.
Gambling for a win. That's kind of like our theme. We're gambling for a win.
Okay.
Gambling for a win.
but this is the Taft Library's 25th anniversary.
It's the boat races.
Oh, I was like, the boat race, okay, I'm sorry.
So we're called the Silver Dollar, and we're gonna have writing in silver.
Now,
Yeah.
did she order shirts that you're selling or?
She already did. She,
I wanted them for specific people and we're asking for a donation.
right, like the 4 people in the boat, we bought out. Sure.
I think in a team is important.
Yeah.
I didn't want to invest large amounts of money.
But also, the Taft Library is selling T-shirts for the 25th boat race. They're selling them as a fundraiser, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Right. If not, I'm going to tell you, the T-shirts are red with white lettering. So even if you have a red T-shirt, wear that. And we're going to have plenty of hats. We're going to have all kinds of hats and stuff. So, because we're looking to get not necessarily the Speed Award, but one of the other ones. Like the most attractive boat, esprit de corps, has the most enthusiasm. We do not want to see the Titanic Award. We wanted to at least get out there before it sinks. Anyway, now another thing, I did talk to most of you. I think I texted or emailed you, but I want to make a motion that the COA match the funds that the Friends gave, because it's been very expensive. A lot of us have been paying for things and we hope to get reimbursement. but I mean, the paint, all of the wood, the stuff that we've needed. So they put up $250. So if you would approve $250 to match them,
From the COA gift account?
yes, yes. I think that's only
I
fair.
think that's good. Yeah, it's nice when we partner like that.
That's the idea.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, please, to,
I make a motion
Go
that
ahead.
we contribute $250 to match what the friends have put in from the COA gift account.
perfect.
Perfect.
Second,
We're all seconds and all in favor. Aye. Okay, I guess that's good. Thank you all for that. We hope that you'll come. The check-in, some of us have to be in early for 5:30, but the boat races start at 6:30, but they usually start with the littler kids. I think that we are in the 3+ adult boat. That was the category that they put us in for now. 3+. There is a challenge. There is a challenge race.
I just want to know who's second.
Yeah, that's okay. There is a challenge race. We are not entering it because the entrance fee is $100. And what it is, it's like the police, the fire, the selectmen, the highway, they all put in $100, and whoever wins their race, they donate it to their charity, whatever it is. I think one time the food pantry did get the money, but you know, let them do it. They're younger and stronger, and we'll just go, let's take our chances with the 3+ adults. Okay, and what else? Anything else about it, Carolyn?
Okay.
Phil has a question?
Heck, we'll be getting back, and I was wondering, I'd just like to get the key so I
Sure.
can get in there maybe Saturday or Sunday, late Saturday or Sunday.
Yes, you can.
The thing that I'd like to get to start to look at is, I was gonna ask you to place the seats correctly with the decorations correctly, and then begin to start constructing, gluing them on, if that works with you. Because it's
Yeah.
gonna take a few days to dry.
Right, I am going to tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have a pretty good idea of how things are fitting.
Yeah.
I would say. The, one of the benches is totally done. The second one will be done tomorrow. And then we can place them.
The wheels are done, smokestacks.
Practically done.
I'm working on the crown today. Yay for craft group at the light.
Joanne Mondor is, she's gonna come tomorrow and she's working on the
I'm
silver
sure
dollar.
if she's coming tomorrow, the silver dollars will be done, so they just need
Yeah.
putting on.
I guess the piece
They're
I'm
gonna be
looking,
back Friday
I'm
night,
gonna-
Saturday.
yeah, we're
What do you
coming back
got?
late Friday night.
Okay.
Late Friday night, so we'll be around Saturday after we get ourselves oriented, and then
Right.
Sunday, but I'd like to start gluing stuff though, as there's 2 seats, most
Yeah.
definitely, because that's the most pressure. I would just ask you to set them up the proper way,
Yeah, we
so the
will.
bottom's on the bottom.
Yeah, we didn't do anything to the bottom, so they're very easy to
Okay.
identify. Text me when you get home. I'll meet you at the center and hand over the keys.
Works for me. And then maybe, if, we can get Andy to help out. I've got an idea on how to carry it down and launch it. So
Yeah, I was
Monday,
thinking
Tuesday,
what's myself, instead of
Mon-
Monday, we're not in town.
no, we'll have to do it.
Tuesday.
So I shouldn't say this, I think Andy will be available at the weekend. But I'd have to check his schedule, I don't have his work calendar.
Maybe
Just
Sunday.
thinking, I'm thinking about cutting it's a method to carry the boat off the truck onto the area and then launch it into the water. And it's gonna have a platform we can carry it, it'd be easier. Capable of having 6 people.
If I were you, I would talk to Dan Meyer and ask him where we're gonna enter the premises. Because 2 years ago, we had backed down that little side road, and then we were told, no, you can't go through there.
Yeah.
We need to know where we're gonna back your vehicle or your, whatever it is down to get it.
Either a truck or a trailer, yeah.
Yeah, we need to know where the entrance is, because they redid all of that.
Okay, good point. I'll reach out to Dan and make sure we have that. And I'm sure we can get it there with either Steve's truck, my son's truck, and or the trailer.
And I have a big tarp we can put on the ground. I will tell you, with all this humidity, the boat itself feels a little funky. Because it's so hot working, and the humidity is just playing havoc. We're hoping that some of the docks stay on, otherwise we'll have to paint them. Right now, they're on, same with the stripe. Okay, sounds like a plan. Anyway, some of us are meeting tomorrow to just do our things on that. All right, I think that's all I have to say about the library race. If anybody has any questions on it.
Okay, the next item is Friends of Elders Program suggestion.
So this is something that was submitted to us by Karen Sibley. They're talking about wanting to have a bocce tournament, monthly birthday celebration. I don't know if you want to mention.
We'll talk about the third one.
Yeah, the third one. So I think they're both great, great, ideas. It's a matter of having, them to, coordinate them. And I think it's great. The birthday celebration especially, it's nice for people to be remembered. And I think, fortunately, with our Tri-Valley lunches and our staff, we can only do so much, and so, if they want to take it another next step, and, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be a celebration where everybody can come and then May people are celebrated, or if it's just for the May people or whatever month, but that's up to the friends to discuss. And I just let Karen know too regarding bocce tournaments. I know in my town, the senior center and the police department are big into playing bocce together, having tournaments together. So
Sure.
It also happens that our police station is just a stone's throw from our senior center in Hopkinton. But so I think that's, trying to grab maybe the fire department or.
Fire department would be very good.
Yeah. The fire department's always trying to find, as the friends know, they're trying to find ways to engage with us and to let us know about safety programs coming up. So maybe they want to come forward to do something like this too.
The other, and we can bring this up in new business or on this topic. The other thing I'd ask the COA to do over the next summer break until we get back to in September is to really think about, and I'll send it out, the chart that we used before. If we really want to build a new center, we need to really stretch, and Amy, I ask you to think about with, a full-time person rather than part-time, how much more programming we can put into the system. Currently we're 4 days a week. Can we go to 5? Can we increase lunches, creativity? And I'd like that as a topic of some heavy discussion in September, because I think if we want to move for a bigger center, a better center, we're going to have to expand program and reach out to a larger audience. That's my humble opinion. And I don't want to act on it right now, but I want you to start thinking about that for the September meeting. And I'll send out the charts that we used when I went to that conference way back when. It got all these programs. Look at the frequency of the programs that we run today and say, can we do more? Don't get hung up on funding yet. Or necessarily, but figure out just expanding programs and then prioritize them. Let's see what we can do going into the new year. Doesn't happen to have overnight, but I think to get the new center and to really get the population up, we need to be creative in those areas. In addition to whatever the friends proposed here, they're very good things too. So that's my only 2 cents on that.
Okay.
As far as liaison to the friends, I went to the friends meeting last month. I proposed that we have a voice on their board. It was turned down, but instead they came back with a counter offer saying Karen would meet with you like once a month at both your conveniences and discuss things ahead of our meeting. The reason why we wanted the liaison was because just like how we just talked about these things and how good these suggestions were, we can be prepared to discuss them at our meeting. It will be on the agenda, not waiting until the following month. So that was our reason for asking to have a liaison, because this is an open meeting, so anybody could come. But we've always invited the friends to have a voice here. We always ask opinions. They can speak their mind. We had wanted the same thing, but this will work out too. So, Donna, it will be you and Karen. You'll meet somewhere at the center at both your conveniences, but prior to Amy putting it on the agenda, just so we have an idea of what, and because we have to work together. We need to. Prior to the agenda going out, because it has to be on the agenda. I don't want it done as new business, because we want to be able to talk about it and discuss it.
Okay, cultural council grant applications and theme suggestions for volunteer appreciation 26.
So here, before we, we're gonna break for the summer, cultural council grant applications, they used to always be October 15th. I know there's been some movement in past years, it might be a little bit later, whatever, but give it some thought. That's usually where we get some of our funding for our volunteer appreciation. Also, you can think about the summer, I love the casino idea for the boat. I don't know, that might be overkill to do it for volunteer.
Oh, there are volunteers like next April or May,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So,
And we'll have some of the
and there
stuff.
are agencies that actually put on casino there, so, but yeah, give it some thought, and, just wanted to, because again, we're going to be here before we know it. It's nice to be able to jump on board those, the funds that are available, and it doesn't have to be just for the volunteer appreciation, it could be in general. If you see a performer somewhere, and, not all performers apply for cultural council grants. And there have been some that I tried for years, and they didn't. Now granted, now the friends have substantial funding, and they made that known. So maybe if someone doesn't apply for cultural council grant, that's not a reason why you can't have that.
Right.
You could ask the friends for funding.
That one woman show that we used to have coming. Can that be on the list?
She stopped doing that. She stopped doing it, but the library had her, she got $500. There are
Oh,
other.
you mean the historical woman? Oh, yeah, she's very pricey.
So there are several others like her too.
$200 for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Last one was like, aircraft, I think it's like 35 minutes. Anyway, I think we all thought that she was gonna come back with one for match, but
Yeah.
she was very good.
She is very good.
Yeah. So, but please do give it some thought, you can text me, email me, we can look into things, so, but yeah, I'd like to be prepared. I'd like to have at least 2 applications into them. Sometimes they do, what they do is they get applications, they approve them, and then they look for a venue like they did last summer. We had that, I think that 3-person.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Musical group. This year and last year, we had the chair hip hop, which, she actually does a line dancing version too of it. So I think it was something different, but yeah, I'd like to at least throw some applications in the ring. Because that's what the funds are there for.
Okay, and this leads us to the last item on the agenda, the senior of the year.
Okay.
And staff updates.
So there's one more.
And staff.
So senior of the year, 30-year-old star, it was on, in the paper, it's in the newsletter. I have notified the Senator Patman, notified Brian Murray. I've got an email into, Jeremy to find out should we invite, Representative Poppy Claus. He's gotten more involved in things. I don't know. We keep it in our tight-knit group with the select board, where they need to come up with the citation and the proclamation to get those to the selectmen this summer. So those are all set. I don't know if anybody watched or was at the selectmen meeting. I guess they did announce it. They did invite me and the honorees to come in person, which we thank them, but declined. That doesn't typically happen, and so yeah, I'm hoping we've got the sign-up sheet down at the senior center. We'll be working with Diane Harper again with the Lions Club. She's phenomenal. She's got the Victorian Church books, and The Lions Club will do what they do, they'll use up sure the wee hours first, and I mean, that's their thing, the only thing we do, and I suppose you can all vote on, because they're spending money for the game. Yeah. You should do that.
Whoever you get does a great job.
Mind about it.
I mean, and I'm sure they're reasonably priced.
Yeah, they are, people, when you people to get the game.
Yeah, they do a nice
They
job.
take a lot of pride, they really take a lot of pride, in it. So.
One of the things I would like to see coordinated, because the last one is the fire department dropped the people off too early. We weren't outside to greet them. I mean, it was almost like chaos, running around trying to snap pictures. And I don't think they even had the siren going, did they? I mean, we didn't even know they were there, and it was like, what, a half an hour early? Yeah, so,
So I don't know that this army is gonna want that.
okay.
Fanfare, but if they do, it's really tough. I know what time should I tell them to have them there?
Well, we just happened to have somebody on the board that has a fancy old fashioned car. Maybe they could come by car.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Maybe we put the top down.
Convertible, right?
A woman's not gonna wanna ride in a convertible with her
That's
hair.
true.
just jump on.
They're not gonna do it.
Fire trucks are nice, but I could,
I don't know,
You could have a police escort, you could have a police escort.
when I laid everything out for them, one of the couple, the members is probably more agreeable towards this, one might be a little bit more shy, doesn't want the fanfare, so I don't know, we'll find out.
Right.
But in terms of the timing, yeah, I always tell the honorees to get down there for, quarter past. They must have just hightailed it up there.
I'm worried about that, am I?
Yes.
Yes.
So how early did they get there? Does anybody know?
It was, I was gonna say like it was a half an hour. It was early. We couldn't, yeah, and that's kind of sad, because the idea is to
Right.
welcome, appreciate
Well,
them.
that was Anthony's desire.
Yes, not to arrive early at the fire station.
That's why.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Transportation.
Or to tell the fire department, do not bring them until,
yeah, that's a good idea.
oh, yes.
So maybe we would want that.
Maybe you would.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe you would.
You also, if, when people get older, their knees, most people's knees start to fail a little bit as you get older. And I'll tell you, I'm still having problems with my right knee as a result. And even though there was a step ladder to get up to the first step, from the first step to the second one, it's not a normal step like you would the stairs, it's a foot. And it really, it's my knee off terrible. I still have that's something to think about for these seniors.
I'd like to go back to the inviting to the property. Well, I think it would make sense
Yeah.
to invite officers. He were away, but Phil and I showed him around. That time he came, and he was very interested in these.
Okay. So again, I'll wait till Jeremy gets back with me because I like the select board need to kind of know that they're who's who, And I don't know who from the select board will be at the event, but they usually have 2 representatives. And Elaine, that's usually there.
Okay, staff update.
Okay, so should be listening to this.
So I have a couple of things to let you know. And before going to staff updates, senior work program is on again. We've lost a few people because they've moved. A couple of people have dropped out of the program. So I've been able to add some people that have been on a waiting list for over a year, which I felt really good because I needed to cover a couple of offices quickly this week. And I had a couple of new people that I could call on. So we have 14 people in the program this year. I think funding is going to be good. It's going to work out good. So that's that. So we finalized FY25. I haven't sent everything to the assessors and treasurer's office. I'll be doing that in the next month or so. And then I will be also sending to I'll be sending an updated list of the workers, updated paperwork, timesheets and all that. So it's hopefully we're going to have a lot of opportunities for them. I have had some different requests, and so I've funneled those to Jeremy, because it shouldn't be up to me to decide where people work. Like, for example, we've been we'd like to get someone into, or they'd like to get into the Clough School, a nurse with 55 years experience that's retired. And the school would love to have them there, but it's a matter of the town approving, and I think I told some of you about last year, the superintendent's office wanted to have a runner between the school, a courier between the schools. And then the issue there was, that administration brought to my attention was transportation. Were they going to be using their own car? Were they going to be covered under insurance? Was the school going to supply them with a vehicle?
And are they going to get gas reimbursement?
Yeah, so that never got off the ground. And besides that, there were so many needs from the municipal offices. This year, a lot of those needs have been satisfied, or they've been satisfied last year. The transcription needs that were really taking up a lot of people's time. So this year, I'm not quite sure if there's going to be how much work there will be to go around, but so a couple new ideas have been brought to my attention. I'm bringing it to let him think about it.
The amount of money is the same.
Actually, he increased it. He increased it by another $5,000, which is fabulous. Yeah, because we went slightly over last year, and he approved that overage.
Oh, another time. But we still get for UD.
It's going to be 100 hours and $15 an hour, so $1,500. Granted, I got to see somebody's payout, and unfortunately, between federal, state, and OBRA, they're back to the OBRA, so they are now. They should have been here.
Oh, that.
But it's something you can get back. They take it out, but you can get it back. But my daughter, when she worked for the town of Upton, they took it out of her paycheck, and she was able to get it back, and she.
Well, if they take retirement, they shouldn't be taking Social Security.
So they don't, I'm sorry, they do federal, state, and OBRA, no Social Security. None of us have Social Security. Sorry if I was misspoke. So, all right, so that's the senior work program. Also wanted to let you know, after a couple tries, I think we've got all the employees are up to date on their CPR, and a few of the board members. Also, I think, cross your fingers, I think all of our board and staff are up on the ethics training. Shauna just took hers on Monday, so she's all set. And the big thing is, and it was frustrating for all of us, that you had two requirements. You had to do the training, and then you had to acknowledge, the whole program. And a lot of people did the training, thought they were done. And so I apologize. And my suggestion, it's with the state, my suggestion is they should all have it, when you finish the training, you've got the two things, one thing to check and one thing to check. But anyway, but thank you for all of you for your patience and coming in to do those. Now, the heavy news. On Friday was a very busy day with the water and all that. And we also had the food pantry distribution. And unfortunately, I had to receive some notice. Janet Hubner has given her notice that Janet Hubner, after 9.5 years, and technically it might be closer to 10, she came on as a volunteer under Beverly Hart at first. And then eventually, when we needed coverage, when Beverly would do her stint in Florida for the summer, Janet would cover that. So, but according to my records, I think, and when she was hired by the select board, it seems to be 9.5 years.
Doesn't she need 10 to be vested in the pension plan? Isn't 10 the minimum?
No, I don't think so. No. But I'll bring it up to her. So she took a week's vacation. Like me, she has amassed a lot of vacation time. Her position's allotted to 2 weeks a year. When you hit 10, you get 3 weeks. And then when you hit 15, you get 4 weeks. So I let her take vacation this week because, there's a lot of vacation she's going to leave and she won't be able to cash in on it. So,
What's her last day?
well, we have to figure that out. She's going to be here. She very graciously was willing to stay through my vacation, which is the last week of July. Shauna's vacation is the first week of August, so that neither Shauna or I are gonna be, alone. And then that last week when Shauna is out, we have our food pantry, our August food pantry distribution, so we'll be on board again. Just want to work things out. I don't know if I can throw in another week's vacation for her so that she doesn't leave with all that vacation hanging in the balance. I don't know.
I
But,
think we should have a little bit.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
I talked to Peg and, yeah, Peg wasn't sure if it's something we should do after the fact. I don't think that'll fly. I don't think,
What we'll do.
having something after the fact, having her leave and then having her come back for an event.
Well, I was saying to Amy, you know how we've had
Yes,
off-site trainings where we go to either Lowell's or someplace like that. And we can do some training, but it would also be us saying goodbye, unless you want the people at the senior center to say goodbye.
yeah, and I